Fear is a basic feeling. It should be used in circumstances requiring life-saving behavior and can trigger the fight-or-flight response. Fear is a vacuum where love cannot generate positive energy. It's like a debt that steals peace. While fear is necessary when there is an external immediate danger, fear is only meant to be manifested when there are dangers requiring reaction to ensure safety and balance. Otherwise, fear works to stifle and cause degeneration. Another consideration is the fear factor. Those who live in response to fear become a reactive component of reality. Their ability to be proactive is stifled, and decisions are made on a basis of a lower plane of emotional intelligence. The extreme of this scenario can be seen in places where riots began, or where wars break out. Fear takes over the rational mind and forces a person to seek out what are considered to be self-preservation considerations. In this state, growth and maturity are put on hold, and self-preservation uses up the senses. These senses are needed to continually register the nuances of reality and place them in the appropriate place in consciousness. Fear should not be a catalyst of a decision. While we will again acknowledge that the fight-or-flight mode can save a human from a chasing bear, most decisions in life are not based on that premise. Even if we do allow fear to bring us to a decision, then we must also take responsibility for the consequences of that fear. When fear is in power, then love is not being expressed. This means that we must do our best to come to terms with fear in our lives. Being concerned about what others think of us is also detrimental to our soul growth. We must move beyond this to realize our truest potential. Anger is the daughter of fear. The fear cycle plays a role in depression of the human spirit. The cycle creates a patterned habit which keeps one from growing. Fear and anger are related. When all fear is gone, then anger will start to subside. Fear and pain are related. For example, a man who struggles with anger since childhood may be struggling with pain caused by his father's lack of love. If the father is absent or does not provide unconditional love, then a son can develop anger issues. This anger is really a coping strategy for covering the pain, which grew from his fears. Pain is a physical or emotional indicator. Physical pain renders our nervous system in overdrive, and we seek to escape the sensation. When you touch a hot stove, you quickly move your hand away. This pain serves to tell us when something should be avoided. But it also tells us that something is wrong. If you're running and suddenly your ankle hurts, then you know that something has happened. Your ankle could be broken, or you could have some damage. This tells you that you must rest or that you're in need of healing. Emotional pain and fear works the same way. There could be an imbalance, and we should seek to rebalance. Some humans incorrectly process this and can sometimes seek out emotional pain to compensate for another emotional pain, and this can contribute to addiction. When the pain is not brought back to a homeostasis state, then the person becomes unstable emotionally and growth doesn't take place. Feelings, which express in the physical as emotions, are made up of energy. Each has a unique energy. Perhaps sometimes in the distant future, we will learn to read these energies the way we now read words. The positive emotions emit a higher frequency, and the negative emotions emit a lower frequency. Higher frequencies lead to growth and balance and integration. Low energy leads to a victim-predator cycle of regression. Pain is an active force of fear. Behind the thoughts of pain, they will break down to thoughts that correlate with fear. Think about someone who has experienced a great deal of stress and emotional pain. Some are sensitive enough to be affected by simple, everyday frustrations. They become triggers from a deep reservoir of lingering pain. This pain comes from a deep fear. For example, a woman who's had a very critical father will have a short tolerance for men later in her life because of leftover unhealed pain. In therapy, we will find that her thoughts may be, the criticism is an indication of rejection, and rejection is realized in terms of a fear of rejection. Once this is realized and confronted and dealt with, healing can occur. Fear should not be a catalyst in our decisions. While we may, again, acknowledge that the fight or flight mode can save a human from a chasing bear, many decisions in life are not based on this premise. Even if we do allow fear to bring us to a decision, then we must also take responsibility for the consequences of that fear. When fear is in power, then love is not being expressed. This means we must do our best to come to terms with fear in our lives and to work it out. When we do take responsibility and begin to be open enough to learn the lessons that are presented, then we'll begin to create opportunities away from fear. We will show that we've learned the lesson needed and the next steps can be explored. Our attitude will allow us to see the opportunities that are available. We also will be sending out positive reinforcement to our environment and preparing a way for positive circumstances. This is just another example why so many people are talking about a collective consciousness, because what we do contributes to what others do and their reality as well. When negative situations or obstacles are present once more, then we need to behave in a way that shows we can move beyond that and see the lesson. Sometimes we will also face circumstances for the benefit of others. Humanity really is like a network, and we're all connected. If we are to be used as a mirror or as a sounding board for others, then we must consider how we behave and how we handle our fear. When we are humble enough to see our part in the circumstances in our lives, then we will become a positive force for ourselves and for others. Our lives and our personal responsibility creates a web that connects to the elements in the lives of others and ourselves. We live in a reality of free will where even a choice to be personally responsible is given. We should not take too long in deciding to be co-creators in the opportunities of our lives. To do so would mean that we would be stifled in the possibilities. Choose to confront the fear in our lives. Choose to do inner work. Choose to watch how you react to things around you, regardless of what happens in your environment. You alone, your soul, your presence in this reality needs to be seen from your perspective. What this means is that you should not allow fear to align you with those that are predatory in nature. Don't see yourself as a victim of the circumstances around you, but rather see them as a time and place to show love and growth to others. Regardless of what happens in our physical world, our souls can be stable, can be pure, and can be love. It's a choice. How you process your fear can make all the difference about a future for humanity.